So Sean Spicer has resigned as Trump's press secretary. I'm here on the road in a conference room with weird lighting and a sail. So you guys wanted, some of you asked for a different background. Here's one. How about a sail coming out of my skull? So I'm still in San Diego, going to the Comic-Con, and so I wanted to cover this because this just happened today. He resigned very abruptly, is what it's been called. And he made his decision. Basically what happened, apparently, you know, Spicer's been in the background, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders she's been sort of doing this for weeks as Spicer's been kind of shoved in the background. And Trump has now hired Anthony Scaramucci. I'm going to go into who he is in a second. But this is, you know, more, Trump is facing legal issues all over the place. And now this is his press secretary is leaving. And the guy that's coming in is Scaramucci is a Goldman Sachs guy, who I'll go into the detail, but he's given money to any type of Republican he thinks might get some power. He's given money to. He's a big financial guy. And this is the thing that's also unclear. Spicer said he's going to still be working in the White House through August, but I don't see this happening. This is weird because Trump's only been president for 6 months, and already there's all this shakeup, and Trump has hired longtime Washington defense attorneys John Dowd and Ty Cobb to join conservative lawyer Jay Sekulow, who frequently appears on television to defend the president. Dowd will lead the legal team for the Russia investigation. There's so many reasons, and some of them we may never know about why Spicer left. But one thing is for certain, I think Trump is a paranoid lunatic, and Spicer, let me put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Spicer on the stand for something. Right now, I've talked at great length about how this Russia thing is, we know it's a lot of nonsense, but there might be some, you know, some whatever. Trump has always been, I mean, he had something, I don't know how many lawsuits he had against him during the campaign. He's just one of these rich guys that's always doing shady shit. He's always suing somebody. Someone's always suing him. That's just that filthy, rich New York person world. So Scaramucci, let's go into who he was. Apparently, what's his name? Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon were against Scaramucci getting appointed. And Spicer was an ally of Priebus, and having worked with him when Priebus headed the Republican National Committee. You know, in the press conference today, Scaramucci said, "Oh, you know, people don't all get, you know, it's like a team. You fight, but you win for the championship." And he just kind of downplayed, like, "Hey, people have disagreements. Everybody has disagreements." Which yeah, sure, people have disagreements, but this is the White House, my friend. And in the press conference today, Scaramucci just avoided the questions about Trump's legal issues. 2012, Scaramucci tweeted in favor of gun control. The USA has 5% of the world's population, but 50% of the world's guns. Enough is enough. So he seems like, let's go to The Intercept, where The Intercept says about him. Here's what he's done, according to The Intercept. And Scaramucci has donated enormous amounts of money to a wide panoply of politicians. He was national finance co-chair of the 2016 Scott Walker presidential campaign, raised money for Jeb Bush, and then personally maxed out Trump's campaign and gave $100,000 to Rebuilding America Now, a pro-Trump super PAC. His hedge fund, Skybridge Capital, also donated $75,000 to Mitt Romney's super PAC in 2012 and $100,000 to Karl Rove's super PAC in 2013. All of Scaramucci's super PAC contributions would have been illegal before the Supreme Court's 2010 Citizens United decision. If there's any more evidence about how Obama, Bush, and Clinton have been allowing this to happen. How is Trump doing this? This is awful. Resist, resist. No, no, no. Democrats have let this happen too, because now there's no pretense about anybody. Everybody can just donate and corrupt and do whatever they want. And the Supreme Court. So the thing that, like Chris Hedges talks about in Death of the Liberal Class, is how the corporate state, the deep state, has gotten control of everything. Universities, the courts, the media. They can do whatever they want, and they just have these fake kangaroo courts. The Supreme Court allowed this to happen, and what was their reasoning? Blah, blah, blah. Capitalism is good, free trade, blah, blah, blah. So here's some more stuff about Scaramucci. In 2011, he described the significance of Citizens United in ways strikingly similar to the views of the ruling critics, and strikingly different from the court's majority's blasé perspective on whether its decision would make the U.S. political system more corrupt. Scaramucci's outlook was quoted in a New Yorker article about how deeply the feelings of Wall Street super-rich were being hurt, even the mildest criticism by Barack Obama. According to the piece, one evening after a day's activities on an annual hedge fund conference, Scaramucci organizers in Las Vegas, he and 20 financiers and politicians enjoyed an 8-course dinner of blinis with caviar, fennel, grapefruit, pomegranate, blah, blah, blah. The wealthiest guest was another hedge fund manager, billionaire Leon Cooperman. By that moment, Cooperman had garnered attention for repeatedly comparing Obama's 2008 election to the rise of Hitler. Cooperman claimed he didn't mean they were similar as people. Here's what Scaramucci said about Citizens United himself and Cooperman. Scaramucci, the organizer of the dinner, told me the next day that the guests had witnessed the activation of a sleeper cell of hedge fund managers against Obama. That's what you see happening in the hedge fund community, because they now have the power, because of Citizens United, to aggregate capital into political action committees and to influence the debate. He said, the president has a philosophy of disdain towards wealth creation. That's just obvious, okay? Really? What world are you talking about? This Obama he hates wealth. That's why he bailed out the banks, gave them hundreds of billions of dollars, and then didn't prosecute them, let them create 5.2 million foreclosures. That's because Obama was some crazy socialist. Oh, it's such bullshit. If there's a pope with this movement, it's Lee Cooperman. By contrast, here's what the conservative Supreme Court majority proclaimed in the Citizens United decision. We now conclude that independent expenditures, including those made by corporations, do not give rise to corruption or the appearance of corruption. Gee, thank you, Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, bought and paid for. That speakers may have influence over access to elected officials does not mean that those officials are corrupt. Yes, it does. If you give them $100,000, yes, it absolutely corrupts them. Yeah, that's wrong. The appearance of influence or access, furthermore, will not cause the electorate to lose faith in democracy. They already have. The electorate doesn't give a shit. The electorate is barely paying attention because they've just been lied to and bullied and pushed around, and they're just wondering, are they going to have health insurance? Are they going to have drinkable water? Are they going to have a job? So, congratulations, you won. Who were in attendance at that dinner? Al Gore, then mayor of Los Angeles, Antonio Villagrosa. Villagrosa was so eager to hear more about Cooperman's fascinating ideas that, according to the New Yorker, he gave the hedge fund manager his direct phone number. Now, out of office, Villagrosa is running for governor of California in 2018. As I've said, Ralph Nader says the difference between the two parties is the speed with which they will drop to their knees for corporate money. So apparently the sleeper cell has now seized the White House communications office, says Robert Weissman, president of the consumer advocacy organization Public Citizen. But that's less eyebrow-raising than it might be, since they also have an accessory in the Oval Office. See what no Democratic Party, we don't have a party of the people, we don't have a progressive party, see what they do? They allow this shit to happen. So now this guy that just gave money to any candidate, Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, oh, now Trump's the front, whoever's the front runner, he would back. He publicly called Trump a buffoon back in 2015. So, and this is the Democrats' fault. This is Obama's fault. This is the Clintons' fault. This is Nancy Pelosi's fault. Tom Perez's fault, Howard Dean's fault, right? Chuck Schumer's fault. This is why this is happening. The corporate state owns the Supreme Court. Thanks for watching the show, you guys. Support the show. Patreon link below. I don't have a super PAC. I don't have corporate money sponsoring me. I just have to find weird rooms with weird crap behind me to record my little videos and upload them from my phone.